Jonathan Shrager here with Paddy Fitzpatrick, trainer of George Groves, following George's victory there in the 7th round. How do you assess the performance, Paddy?
I gave him a 5 out of 10 after the bell went.
Yeah. Did you tell him that? Did he?
Yes, I told him that. I wouldn't tell somebody else before I told him. But I told him after the bell. He looked at me and kind of shrugged his shoulders. I shrugged mine. I said 5 out of 10. He goes, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So he agreed with that assessment.
Yeah, he's not. George isn't a naive man. He's not somebody that's full of bluster, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He'll tell it how he sees it, and it's the same thing with him. It took a few rounds to get into our groove.
Yeah, so I mean, so how come a 5? Like, stylistically, was it just an awkward fight, or? No,
it wasn't necessarily an awkward fight. George started off by moving to his left, and Douglin was countering him with the right hook over the top. So George made a decision then to start coming over to his right. I didn't want him to come to his right too early because then he's walking towards Douglin's left.
Yeah.
So after the 3rd round, he started making a little bit of an adjustment, and I said that Douglin is just trying to pot shot you. So you have a choice then, either go and overwhelm the man that's trying to pot shot you or pot shot with him. So we started drawing his leads and taking little half steps and just pot shotting with him.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, on the back of what you sort of assess as a 5 out of 10, is that irrelevant to obviously George's mandatory position in the WBC? He won the fight at the end of the day.
Well, George is mandatory.
Yeah.
George is mandatory, and he's also won the fight. So he still holds his mandatory position. He still fights Anthony Terrell for the world title. We're not going to go home because we had a beautiful camp. I was expecting his best performance yet tonight, but so was George.
Yeah.
So we go home and be honest with each other and see what we could have done, see what went wrong, analyse it, and look to make adjustments as we should have.
Do you think maybe psychologically, even though, like you say, things were going good in the gym, it was a good training camp, is there that element of when you know you're fighting someone you're expected to win, and he might be thinking in the back of his mind towards the world title shot?
That's totally possible. I can't answer that question yet, because like I said, we will go and have an honest conversation with each other. He didn't perform badly. He just didn't perform very good. This is, and there can be a few reasons behind it. Sometimes we can just have a bad day at the office, but there was nothing in camp that would lead us to believe that we would have a bad day in the office. So we got to deal with what we got. We got the win. He did improve as the rounds went on.
Yeah.
He started to get his own rhythm with his own jab and the half steps, and once he started finding with the right hands, he started doubling them up. Denis was starting to feel the pace after around the 5th and the 6th.
Yeah.
And when he did get hurt, I don't think he had enough energy left in the tank to shake off the hurt. So George was getting to him eventually, but just not in the way that we wanted to do it.
Okay, and you mentioned off camera, obviously, quite a unique situation with Douglin, whereby he is trained by his mother.
Yes.
You mentioned you've been into a chat with her, and like you say, it's a heartbreaking situation sometimes.
Yeah, I love this sport. It's my passion. But we always know one man wins and one loses, but sometimes one man gets hurt. And I understand the game. I understand that happens, but it's still not nice when you see it. I went into the changing room to have a chat with him, and his mum is very upset. She's broken up. So it's not that she's upset he lost. She's upset that her son has been hurt. So it's hard. But they understand the game they're into. They're grown folks.
Yeah, and just one last question in terms of obviously like the distinction between getting the W, winning, and obviously looking impressive. It seems like nowadays with all the kind of hype and buzz around things, everyone's got this insistence that you need to look good when you win as well.
Yeah.
But obviously James DeGale tonight has emphatically knocked out the guy that had been stopped.
Yeah.
Is it enough nowadays just to get that win rather than make an emphatic statement?
Well, you always want to make a statement. Fans come to see excitement, they come to see entertainment. So, at the end of the day, George entertained because he got the stoppage and there was a couple of bumps on the road, but it's not what you want. We want everything to be perfect all the time. You're not going to get it perfect all the time. You gotta understand that and accept that. So tonight was not a perfect night for us, but we got the win. And the win is always going to be the most important thing when you have already mandate secured.
Yeah.
Don't get that loss on the record. You got the win, move forward.
Absolutely, and then like you say, onwards and upwards. you know, it's you're hoping obviously that the fight will be finalised with Dirrell by looking potentially March, April time.
It'll be finalised before that, because the purse bids, if we can't come to an agreement, will go out by mid-December.
Okay.
So then once the purse bids are in, whoever won those purse bids will get it. So that'll probably be known probably before Christmas, but you'll have to check with the powers that be on that, not me.
But the fight itself probably
around the March time. Yeah.
On British or American, so that obviously
Can't
depends
say,
on the
brother,
purse
can't
bids.
say whoever wins the purse bids, whoever puts a hand deeper in their pockets.
Yeah, well, it's been a pleasure chatting with you all week, Paddy. Enjoy the time. Thank you very much.
Peace. Thank you.